Welcome back to a special episode of Overdogs Podcast. We hope everyone had a great new year. We have so many plans to make this our biggest year yet. I myself have plans to fight my biggest fights. BKFC is coming up around the corner. I'll be planning on fighting a great name soon in Bare-Knuckle Fighting Championships. I look forward to that, as well as starting some drama inside of DBX. The Dirty Boxing Championship ring is a great place for me to meet such guys like Darren Till, who's too afraid to face me with no gloves on. So we'll wear the 5 ounces and I'll knock those fake teeth right out of his mouth. Shout out to all the fans who are ready to see Platinum Perry put on platinum performances this year. I'm excited to do it, and I can't wait to bring it to your front door. We've had so many new fans come on board since the launch of Dirty Boxing. If you haven't seen some of the classic episodes or viral moments that make this one of the biggest shows in combat sports, we got you. We've pulled together some of the best moments from some of our biggest guests, such as Jon Jones, Ilia, Topuria, David Benavidez, and Chael Sonnen, just to name a few, into one episode. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and share this podcast with a friend. All right, so from us here at Overdogs Podcast, sit back, relax, grab you a nice bottle of platinum tequila, and enjoy the show. I had to throw that one in there, man. That coming!
You're very tough, and you know I respect you and commend you, but you're stupid because you get hit too much and you can't take that for so long. That's not good. And let me just tell you, on a realist side, I'm hitting the hardest I've ever been hitting. If I hit you, I won't knock you out. I'll savagely put you in a coma.
Do you buy you're selling? Do you buy you're selling? Because you ain't done in a while. You talking big game, but you ain't been doing it. I've been winning. And I take hits like candy.
That's what I'm saying. You won't be around when I beat you in boxing, then come back to Bare-Knuckle. You won't be around because you'll be.
You the one who ain't been around. How you gonna tell me that I'm not gonna be around when you ain't been around? I've been getting after it.
I don't take shots like you, though. You take too many shots. Come on. Get some.
Dricus du Plessis was ground and pounding the shit out of you.
Yeah, the first and third round, and I was just eating them shots like candy. The second round, I pieced
Oh, that's what I just said. You take too many shots. And if we fight Bare-Knuckle, you got those nice little teeth, don't you? You bought you some new teeth.
Listen, dummy, you're taking the shots in Bare-Knuckle, not MMA or boxing. Every time you take a shot, I go, oh, like it hurts me. That's how much I love you.
I was fighting Dominic Reyes, and it was in round one. He hit me with like a spinning back kick to the face, and then he punched me in the stomach, and I hit the floor, and it was technically a knockdown, and even the look that he had in his eyes, and the way he talked to me before the fight, telling me he was a multi-sport athlete, and he wasn't afraid of me, and that he believed that it was his destiny to beat me, and all this type of stuff. I got in the fight with him, and he was giving me a true run for my money. He was the only other person to do it to me outside of Gustafsson. And I remember thinking to myself, you may have met your match, John. That's what like a voice said to me right in the middle of the cage. It was just like, you may have met your match. And as clear as day, I saw a door. In the octagon. And it was just like, hey, you've had a great career. You've done a lot of great things. This kid, he wants it. He's hungry for it. John, it's okay. It's okay if you come up short in this one. Like, just don't let him knock you out. But you can just kind of skate through this one and let him have it. Let the kid have it, John. And then I thought about that like flying and never coming down. It's a decision. It's a decision to give up on yourself. It's a decision. And something just as clear as that other voice said, back.
Sometimes we get hand-fed the star. Hold on, guys. This is your star now. Everybody, he's the star, right? We seen it with Izzy Adesanya. I really don't with Izzy. I don't. He fake. He was New Zealand, and all of a sudden now he Wakanda. You like he's. I don't like guys that are fake. No, these dudes. I'm being real.
Course.
Izzy and Usman are conveniently African.
You are the realest.
They were never
brother.
African.
You are the realest.
Yep.
I mean, think about this. And until I beat Usman, right? They didn't think Usman was going to lose to me. Nobody did. He was on the Ultimate Fighter show, and I was talking about the other Black Jennings versus ATT, and it was kind of like a joking thing. He's at all my after parties, asking me how does it feel to get the belt wrapped around me. I told him, you'll know, because I did think he was going to be a champion. He'll tell you. I said, you'll know, you'll get the belt one day, and you'll see how it feels for yourself. I never thought it was going to be against me. He just called me when I was planting bad seeds in the ground, dude. I was planting flesh seeds in the ground. And no matter how hard I was training, I had to live up to that. I wasn't living a good life. I was a great father. I was training my ass off. I hadn't lost a round in I don't know how many years. I was and I was literally just thinking it was separate. It wasn't. He caught me in that mix. I was going through a divorce. I had a girlfriend. I had a kid. I had all kinds and I don't even remember the fight. Never watched it again. Only day I can tell you I was like, oh, this is beat me? Right? So after he beat me, they didn't raise up Usman. They raised up Africa. It was Usman, Sadiq Yusuf, Israel Adesanya, and Francis Ngannou together. They didn't do that to Conor. They raised up Conor. Conor went to go grab his little peons and his little minions, right? They didn't do that. So when you think about it, Usman was Marty from Nebraska. He hated that, but he wasn't Kamaru Usman proud of his heritage in college. He went by Marty, right? And what's the name was an anime crumping dancing dude from New Zealand. They never spoke about their African heritage. They never were so proud of it. Francis Ngannou was for sure, and so was Sadiq Yusuf. But then when it became convenient, then they raised up the whole continent. I thought that was corny.
But we've really been waiting. We tried to give you a good entrance, but we've all been sitting here waiting to ask you about conspiracies. Which ones are really, worth looking into?
Well, I mean, just for entertainment value, I'll tell you straight up, most entertainment value you're going to get, I'll tell you conspiracy-wise. Relevance, not so much. And then I also know some that are more relevant and very important to know and understand.
Those are the ones I want to know about, the important ones.
Important ones. Well, I'll start out with ones, and let me tell you, they're probably true. But the ones that don't matter so much are Michelle Obama's a man and Barbara Bush is a man.
I mean, he is, right, Michael?
So if you look up a picture of Barbara Bush, it looks like my papa.
Yeah.
With the damn mop on his head.
It's crazy, bro. Come on, son.
He went right to the Michelle Obama. That's crazy.
Oh, come on, man.
Nah,
Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
What happened is I seen a video of Michelle. I mean, I've been calling him Michael because I'm convinced it's potentially a guy. I seen him on Ellen and swinging around. I said, my goodness, what dude, look at that, And
I'm gonna
so
say something I should not say.
I saw more poof in her dress than I've seen in my pants. I know that much. I think it was pretty good size. I think it was pretty good size.
I know damn well that's got to be a dude, so that's the entertainment of the day right there. But the more you look into that one, the more convincing it gets, the more it'll scare the hell out of you. But the more important one, of course, is what I firmly believe, and I'll just go ahead and say it just to get it out there and fully answer the question, which is I do believe that the Earth is flat, that we're covered by a dome.
That's what I want to hear.
Did anyone ask you if you wanted to press charges or anything for that crowd scuffle?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Dana came. Yeah, Dana and Hunter actually came to where we were seated. And they said, and there was police and security and everybody around us. And they were like, listen, are you okay? Because Sean got escorted out. And I said, yeah, I'm 100% fine. They're like, we are so sorry about this. This shouldn't have happened. We are really sorry about this. And I go, no, it's fine. It's all right. And they're like, are you okay? And I said, no, I'm 100% fine. They're like, we don't need anybody to check you out. I said, listen, I'm fine. I don't even have a mark on my face. I'm good. This is great. And I'm hyped up. I just got like the adrenaline rush. This is amazing. Yeah. And the cops were there as well. And there was some standing around. They said, listen, this was assault, 100%. This was terrible. Like, they want to press, they have him at the back. Like, you have the right to press charges now against Sean Strickland because that was assault. And me being from South Africa, I go, what? Yeah. What? But come on, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Are you sure? I mean, that looked like a good old Friday night. I mean, just have your beer and just see people do that in a bar, and people didn't
actually drop
press charges.
It looked like you
with
dropped
a shot
him in that video. Yeah.
I got a few shots in. I don't think he definitely looked dazed. I'm going to be completely honest. He looked dazed, but you know what I think happened? To be honest, so obviously when he jumped, he had this high ground. So I mean, what are you going to do? You can't fight somebody jumping from the top. So when I grabbed him, and then I threw a couple of shots over, and I got his hips in. And as he was in, I folded his hips, and his legs went out from under him. And I think he hit his head on either the cement, on the concrete, or on a chair. Because on the floor, I landed one or two, but I couldn't, so many people were grabbing us, I couldn't land a solid one. So I landed a shot or two as I pulled him to the ground. But I honestly think that when they got him up, he was doing this smile with somebody gets rocked. And, he was there, but his eyes weren't there. He looked like he was, it was hard between all the people pushing and all to see this, all that stuff. But he honestly looked dazed. And I definitely didn't hit him with a shot that would rock him. But I honestly think that maybe he hit his head on the cement, maybe on a chair. I'm not sure.
That's
but,
so to happen that fast, but like from that video, when he gets up, when they found that angle, he definitely looks like, when a ref's like stopping, I don't know, you could see it in his eyes. It looked odd.
Yeah, but I mean, damn. Well, when the cops said that, I said, whoa, guys, no, please do not press any charge, because I know I'm trying
to get paid.
Yeah, I'm going, whoa. That was the fight. I'm getting my chauffeurs for sure. Come on. But I did my performance. I sold this 296 card now. But immediately I know, listen, to get into Canada for me as a South African, the visa process, but they want to know where your ancestors were born. They want to know, like, everything. It's if you have any sort of criminal, even a DUI or anything, you're not coming into Canada. They are super strict.
Right.
And immediately I go, okay. And Dana says, listen, you have the right, and that is 100% assault. And I said, please no, no, please, I don't want to press any charge. And he says, yeah. I said, because that's going to jeopardize the fight 100%. And he says, yes, it is going to jeopardize the fight. He said, listen, if he has a criminal record, we'll see what's up, or if he's charged, they might not let him in. I go, no. I said, listen, even then, I mean, it wasn't like the guy jumped me from the side or anything like that. It was a fight. I mean, it was a good old brawl. So I didn't want to. I said, listen, both of us are guilty in this. It's not fair that he gets charged with anything. It's not. That's not at all what I want.
And so then Dana put a sticker that said "Employee of the Month" right there on your chest. Bop. Made the fight.
Dave Feldman might be the nicest promoter in the business, because Dave Feldman has never come out and told the world the truth, which is how many freaking cowards he spoke to on the phone. He cannot offer enough money. He cannot spot you enough pounds. Mike's having to fight guys that fight 2 and 3 weight classes higher just to get in there. And it's one of these things. See, Mike Perry's not just going to beat you. Mike Perry's going to hurt you, and that's a very different proposition. That is a wildly different deal than facing like a Damian Maia. You're not likely, and he's really good, and you're going to get embarrassed. Getting busted up versus embarrassed is, I'm just sharing with you, it's a very different thing. Not to mention by a smaller guy. Not to mention nobody knows who his trainer is or where his coach is. He's got a girl in his corner. Like, there's a lot of reasons you don't want to get beat up by Mike Perry, right? Mike Perry has the it factor. I watched a video, and it was on Instagram of Mike Perry in traffic saving a turtle. And I tell people this story all the time because I must have watched that thing 15 times. I forwarded that thing. I reposted. I've never done that. I'm sending this off to people. They're saying, who is that? How do you know that guy? What? I'm like, that's an MMA guy. And people got interested. But it was then that I knew that he's got the it factor. I was at T-Mobile one night. Some kind of music hits, and it might have even been the opponent's music, but Perry starts salsa dancing. He's in the corner, and he's dancing. I just wanted to keep I was so pissed off that when they pulled the camera off of Perry, it's like, go back to him. The fight ends. Both guys leave. And when I went on ESPN that night, I said the best part of the night is when Mike Perry walked through the curtain, and the worst part of the night is when Mike Perry walked through the curtain. And I only tell that because you're asking me what's Perry supposed to do. The guy's a star. How?
My brother actually saved my butt one time in a big street fight when he was just going through becoming a lawyer, and he had to do some criminal cases at the time. And I got into a fight with a guy who knocked out 3 women at a party. And then he was foaming on the mouth. I knew the guy, so I knew something was wrong. And then so I grabbed him when he knocked out my mother-in-law. So I grabbed him from the back. I still didn't hit him. I pushed him outside and said, guys, come on, Jan, that was his name. I said, let's go outside. Let's fight the tree. That you can't hit the tree. And while we're walking outside, there was this 70-year-old guy who was already retired. It was like this party for a company. And he was retired, but they invited him for the party. And he said, hey, Jan, how you doing? While he's sitting, and the freaking Jan knocks the guy out, who's like 70 years old. So now he started pushing harder. Now, what I didn't know is that his son-in-law was also behind me. And as soon as we got outside, they both attacked me. And this was crazy because a week later I had a Thai boxing match. And I remember they both in front of me, and I literally go this, bang, bang, and both down, right? And I'm looking at my wife at the time, and I go, wow, that was easy. I guess I'm ready for the fight. But then he made some weird sound, and he started running towards me. So I wanted to be cool, kick him in the head. And I did, but I did it by accident. He came in too close, too fast with my shin bone. And then his freaking, skull broke, teeth out, jaw broke. Oh, it was bad. And I was very scared, of course, because I didn't want that. I knew something was wrong with him. He had some drugs, whatever it was not really him. And then I had to go to court. And I remember my brother, I called him. I said, what's going to happen right after? He says, oh, they're going to pick you up. SWAT is coming. They're going to get you. And they're going to ask you questions, And I said, but you don't remember a thing. He said, and they're going to ask you, like, what were you wearing? What was he wearing? And if you give an answer, then they know that you knew what was going on. And sure enough, SWAT came, got me, and they started asking all these questions. I said, dude, I have no clue. I just woke up, they attacked me, and they were both on the ground. So then we had to go to court. And fortunately, a lot of witnesses came. Yeah, once you're a guy and you knock out 3 women, and you start, and the 70-year-old in the face, it was okay. And I got off free.
Overall, what's the big goal?
One day with Canelo. I love him.
Canelo.
I have so much respect for him, but I want to fight with him one day. Once I will become a UFC World Champion, I want to go for him because I really think I have my chances with him. I will, como que lo he seguido durante toda mi vida y ha sido de la persona que más he podido aprender en el mundo del boxeo y creo que tengo mis posibilidades con él.
He says that he's been following him forever. He's the one who's actually learned the most in the world of boxing, and he would love to fight him one day. He believes he has the possibilities to beat him.
I know the story with the car chase. So we was out and we was drinking, and Yoel had a few too many Red Bulls, so he was feeling some type of way. And this guy comes up and he gives him a watch. It's like a $2 watch. It was like made of rubber, this big ass clock on it. And he puts the watch on his wrist and he goes, I give you gift. And he was like, now you give me gift. And he points at Yoel's like diamond bracelet. He's like, now you give me gift. And Yoel's like, what? Like, why would I do that? He's like, oh, thank you, my brother. Thank you for the gift. You give me this $2 watch. And we got in the car and we left to go to another bar. And this car is like chasing us and like honking and like he's about to hit us on the road. And like the roads over there are different, bro. Yeah. So the guy's like, our driver is like, no, it's okay. And he's like, they're yelling at each other and the language is so intense over there. They're like, whoa. And we're like, what's going on? What the f-, bro? I was like, bro, stop the car, bro. F- that. He wants some problems, bro. Let's get out. And Yoel's like, man, this guy, man, he give me this watch. I'm like, that's why he's chasing us? Because he gave you a watch and he didn't give us nothing back? And like, so then the driver like gets out the car or the guy comes over, he's talking to him. I really don't even know what the happened. The guy just decided he didn't want no problems. We stopped. Our driver talked to him. He's like, it's okay, bro. I'll handle it. Because I was about to get out the car and go whoop the guy. He was like chasing us for like 20 minutes.
Can you imagine chasing down a car, even if you kind of knew who was in there, and Yoel Romero and Mike Perry get out of it? Like, bro, I'm sorry.
That reminds me, one time I played basketball in Grand Rapids, 2-on-2. Me and my homie, I was staying in his crib in Grand Rapids. We played 2-on-2 against these dudes at the street court. And we won, bro. It was like, I think we was playing to 11 or 15. And we won by like a point or two. And
he was definitely in Grand Rapids.
No, look, it was for $10. It was for $10. And when we won, they was like, the dudes was like, no, we ain't finna pay you. And I was like, no, f that, bro. I'm about to fight these people. And my boy is like, no, Mike, chill, bro. He's just a hooper. And I was like, no, bro, f that. I'm about to fight this dude. He put his hands in his pants and he pulled out of his ass and he gave it to his friend so he could fight me. And he didn't want to drop the. He was holding in his ass. So he could sell it to the rock heads, bro. I swear to God, bro, this happened.
But when did you ever been in Grand Rapids? What park was you at?
I don't know. It was Grand Rapids, though.
You sure?
Yes, it was Grand Rapids, bro.
Just walking around up their ass.
Well, you wouldn't see it, Jamal. You wouldn't
That's
see
the
it. That's
point.
the
You're
point.
not gonna see it, bro. They walking around, they selling that. And they just pull a couple rocks out and give it to him, bro.
All right, Mike, I got to be honest with you. You're my homie. I love you. But if you ever pull at your ass, I'm not holding it.
No. It wasn't me, bro. It was him. I was trying to fight this dude. I was like 15. I'm pretty sure dude was like 17, 18. I don't know. I might have been younger than 15, but.
What was you doing in Grand Rapids?
I was at my friend's house just visiting him. We grew up in Flint together, and his family, his mama moved to Grand Rapids, and I went out there to go hang out with them, and we was playing ball at the court down the street. It was like a block down the street, bro. There was a corner store. Damn, I can't remember. I'm going to ask him, though. I'm going to ask him, and I'll send you where we was at. When I ask him.
All I know is if I'm about to scrap with some dude,
Jamal's like, nah.
He's trying to figure out exactly where it's at.
I swear.
Someone's reaching like into their ass
Hey,
before
because
I'm gonna be pretty concerned.
Out his ass to fight.
No, I was like, what's he doing, bro? What's he doing? He gonna shoot me? Why the
in there, right?
Why the gun so deep? Like,
that's what I'm wondering, bro. What's he about to pull out?
The problem is, man, you don't want to be getting a fight and actually busts open in your ass. Then you. Jamahal Hill, because I haven't talked about this with anybody, but Jamahal Hill rolling up to the UFC center, talking shit to Alex, and then Alex being like, throws the gloves, and then Jamahal being like, nah, man, I ain't fighting without being paid, and then he starts talking shit. What did y'all think about that?
I mean, that's some clown. I'm going to be honest. Like, why even go over there and say anything if you're not prepared to do anything?
That's what I mean. I feel like that's one of the moments that I try to make sure I stay ready for. Like as a fighter, I feel like Michael's always ready at all times for the UFC to call him, and he'll train for a week or two and then get to step in on short notice. You know what I mean? He's that type of guy. So it's like that's the mindset. It's like I want to be ready for any challenge that comes my way. And if I was with Jake Paul right now and he threw me the gloves, like I'm sparring.
Yeah,
I'm sparring
get it.
right now. Like I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? And because Jamahal has talent, but maybe that's the hard choice, right? That's where you got to make a hard choice sometimes with your coaches. But like also as a man, you get them gloves thrown to you by Alex Pereira, you got to go in and you got to handle your and feel better about yourself. That was an opportunity to feel better about how everything went.
It made no sense because I didn't like. Are you walking over there to fight him?
Yes.
Because and then like you walked over there like the why like to talk. Now if he would have walked over there and been cool with him, then it wouldn't have been no problem. But now he's trying to get views or trying to act a certain way by going over here and jumping in his face. And he's lucky Alex didn't have a mindset like somebody like me or you, because honestly, he should have got hit. Like, why are you coming over here like talking and they wouldn't have thought anything about it. He would have caught one in the chin, it would have got broken up, and then he would have looked like a complete like fool over there.
I think he looked worse, to be honest. My take on it is he looked worse. He walked up to him. Dude's over there just training and sweating, right? Doing his thing. Alex seems like a pretty chill dude. Walks up on him like in a threatening manner, like, hey, let's handle this. Yeah. And then let's all Alex does is throw some gloves at him. And then he's like, no. I ain't fighting for no money. If we're not fighting for money, like, I'm out of here. But, dude, he catches himself. Mac, you know this. The guy, and we've had him on, man. I've hung out with Jamahal a bunch. But, like, goddamn, there's nobody worse at social media and PR than Jamahal Hill. He needs to hire a PR person immediately. The guy cannot get out of his own way. Did you get the hair transplant after you split your head open diving into the ice? Tell me about this. This was 70 stitches?
No, this was 17. 17 stitches.
17. Much better.
But so many glue. They put glue and they put together my skin. It was cut all over. Okay.
It's really amazing. It shows your toughness.
It didn't even rock him.
You're
it
so
didn't even
tough.
rock him. He got up right
Look
away.
at that. You look like a movie star right there, man. Look at this guy.
If we have a time, I will tell you this story, how it came, like how it happened.
We have plenty of time. You come on.
Okay, then let's do it. So that was 2021, and I was, I was in, sometimes Vegas, sometimes New York. At that time, I was New York training with my team, Serra Longo, and lots of snow came and New York, and the roads was closed, and gym was closed. They say stay in home, don't drive, don't risk, So and then the gym was closed, and I don't have training partners. I was just running outside in the snow, and I ran one day. And the next day, I decide to, I'm gonna, after run to the lake, I'm gonna jump in a cold water and just for like ice tub. And I'm like, and then of course I have my phone with me, but I set up I put a video on I wanna just maybe post 10-second story on my Instagram, like just me go in the water, and like just that's it, And I turn on the video, and I take my clothes off. But now I see the water. I know how high it is. It's not too high, but I know how to jump. But so reason I don't check because it was lots of snow, and then I guess it was ice and the snow and ice. It looks like a melted snow on top, but it was like ice and like I don't know, very weird ice. Not too thick, but it's
wet,
and sharp, and so it looks like snow. And also, every time I go water, I like to dive in, especially when it's cold. I don't want to check with my people. Oh, it's cold. Oh, I can't go in. I like to just jump in, get cold, and like I don't want to be like a baby. So, and hey, everything is good. I take my clothes off and let's go. I'm just waiting for cold water, but boom! Then I break the ice, and I felt the pain. I felt the skin coming off. You can left Mike, no problem, brother. and I touch and all the skin's coming off. What the? I mean, I'm like, my reaction was, I'm so stupid. Why? How I not check? How I did this mistake? Right? This is so stupid of my decision. What? And I'm like, what are you gonna do now? I have cats. I was worried that I was not training 2 days. Now I have to take 1 week off before I heal up my stitches, right? And then like now I just right away I put my t-shirts on, and
only 1 week.
Now I can.
Only 1 week after all those stitches, you right back to training?
Yeah,
give this guy the gold, man.
Yeah, give him the gold.
Give him the gold, man.
Yeah, I will tell you better story. And so and then I put t-shirts on, and then I can't run because I have cut. I just walk to my house. It's like it was 2 miles away from my house, this lake, and then I have a video. Let me check. I checked the video, and then I laugh at myself. I'm like so stupid. Like, why I did this? And then and then I'm thinking now, this is so stupid what I did. But if I post this one, everybody will say I'm so stupid and why I did this. But if I don't post this, like
it was for nothing.
Nobody will know. But hey, I'm a fighter. I'm already crazy. Everybody, like I don't have nothing to hide in my life. Let me post this, and as soon as I post, I get thousands of people follow me more Instagram. That time my Instagram wasn't doing good, so
you earned it.
I'm glad I did it.
Mike, how do you feel with that bare-knuckle, bro? It's some barbarian, bro. How do you feel? Like how do you like feel like? What's the experience like?
I love it. I do. I love it, man, because it seems so real, and it like gets your heart pumping, and I practiced for it. Obviously, like the first fight I had really hurt my hands a lot, like hitting him in the head, and and he was experienced. The first guy I fought had 9 bare-knuckle fights, so he knew that if he had to get hit, he wanted it to be like his forehead. And like he had a huge cut in the middle of his forehead from me hitting him, but it definitely beat up my hands. And like by the 5th round, I was like, oh my God, it'd be so hard to hit him again. But like I started practicing after that, make sure I tighten my fists up. I wrap my hands differently when I put gloves on now. And I practice more bare knuckle as well as, with gloves on. The way that I wrap, I leave my knuckles exposed so my knuckles don't get wrapped. And sometimes, I'll beat up on my knuckles for a little while, and then I'm like, damn, I'm going to protect them now. I'm going to wrap them and cover them up, and I still got to worry about, actually the owner of the company, David Feldman, he he gave me a hint and a clue after my first fight, and he was like, you know, when these guys, because like in boxing gloves, I feel like your fingers, you be open sometimes, and then you try to close your fist on contact, but like in bare knuckle, that just wasn't working. It was hands up. So he was like, you know, these guys when they punch, they squeeze their fists as hard as they can. And I mean, my last fight, the opponent, he got some shots off on me, but like I'm mentally, I know how to take a punch, and
and that's why I like you so much as a fighter, bro. You're like the definition of a brawler. And I've been watching your fights, man. You're like the man of bare knuckle. You beat Venom Page, then you beat what's the other guy's name? Rock Cold, man. You just been killing it over there, bro. So congratulations.
Thank you, bro. I really appreciate it.
We're fans of you, bro. We watch you a lot. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, man. It was just an honor having you call me and being on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
An honor. Look at this guy, bro. You so humble, bro. That's why you are a great champion. You deserve it, man.
How is that like dating as a?
Yeah, are you looking for a softie or are you looking for a toughie? Someone to be your
at the bar? Like, do you walk over and let me buy you a drink?
No, I don't think they get scared of me at the bar, but like for sure I attract alpha. Like I have a rule, like a hard rule now, no more fighters. Like I'm not allowed to date fighters. That's a deal breaker.
Sorry, Armand.
It's a hard pass for me. But it's tough, dude, right? Like I don't want to date like an accountant. Like
that. I mean, do you know numbers?
No, I can't crunch numbers.
You might need to find an accountant, girl. That boy, my CPAs, man, they be making me want to cry.
Have you ever used like Tinder or anything, or is it just you're focused on Glory and the kids?
I'm kind of a loser. You're like, well, this girl needs to get out. No, I'll like, what'll happen is I'll get bored and I'll go on like Hinge or Bumble, like every 6 months. I'll spend 3 days on it and then I'll just be like, absolutely not, and I get off again. Like it's just, it's
should
brutal.
change your Bumble profile to be like looking for Glory.
No
and
CPA.
Then Glory will show up, man.
Dude, what are you gonna do? Like I put normal pictures of me, like just doing shit, and I don't usually put like, but then it'll be like, if you go on a date and they say, what do you do? And you say, oh, I'm a fighter. And then they'll be like, oh, shit, you're Kayla Harrison. I knew it. I played you in UFC 5. And then you spend like, then you spend the whole date like talking about your fight. Like it's like an interview. And you're like, well, that was terrible. So I'm in a really weird conundrum right now. Like, what the am I supposed to do, guys? Somebody help me.
This is awesome. I like this.
I give people different. People are like, "Are you a fighter?" And I'm like, "No, I'm a person."
That's good. No, I'm a person. I'm gonna start saying that.
Seriously.
But did you ever get like messages? How the do you like talk to someone on Hinge and then be like, "Oh, I knew you were Kayla Harrison"? It's like you
had to be like a very like hardcore MMA fan to really know who I am. It's only now that like, dude, it's starting to get a little bit weird where it's like I go to get ice cream with my kids and they're like, "Oh, dude, great thought," you know, and I'm like, "No, thank you," but I don't want it to get any worse, you know. Like I'm like, all right, we're good. Like it can stop.
It's gonna get worse when you're the UFC
champion. I know, but I don't really want it to.
Now I'm just thinking like seeing Kayla Harrison come up on like a Tinder thing and you got the belt, you're sitting there and it says looking for Glory. Like I need to know the messages that come through.
So we need to just go ahead and do that after I win the title.
I need you to do that because we need this is gonna be a case study. Okay, we're gonna learn, you know, who's got the balls to go after Kayla. Yeah. Looking for Glory. What would I think? Do you have any funny stories about like the weirdest or like odd, funny pickup lines? Anything? How?
I mean, it's mostly just like scumbags that kind of like. I just have like a.
Like you think you're strong? Like you think I could out?
I had an ex that like. I found out wasn't single, and he would just like bring me gifts even after I found out. And like, but we're talking like we're talking like he brought me 2 emus.
Bought you 2 emus?
I roll up to the PI. I see Jon in the weight room. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, say what's up. It's Monday, like a week before the fight. I've never met him. So I go and I'm like, I think, oh no. So we were working with the same manager at the time, and our manager was like basically like, oh, introduce you guys, and we go to introduce him, and I'm thinking like, oh, we're just gonna like dap up or whatever. And so I go to dap up, and he's like, fake shot, and I'm like, all right, bro. Like, I didn't really react because I was like, you can grab my leg, it's all good. But then he's like, I got you. I'm like, you didn't get me, dude. Like, you faked the shot. And but it was kind of funny. And then so then I saw him the next day at media day, and we started grappling around, moving around. And he's freaking huge. He's 260 pounds. Yeah. I'm like joking, like all right, we're gonna pummel a little bit. And he goes full 100%, tries to foot sweep me. And I'm like, what's going on? And I don't fall, but then I'm like, all right, dude, like I'm not gonna take you down in front of 50 people, like in the middle of the makeup room. But so I just kind of started moving a little bit. I was just like fake, and I was like, you're done. I got you. You're too slow. So in my mind, like that it was just funny though, because he's a competitor on all levels at all times, and yeah, he caught me off guard at first. The next time I'm thinking, oh, this is very casual, full 260 pound foot sweep trying to take me down. I'm like, okay. So now I'm like, I gotta like kind of let you know that you're not gonna really like do anything to me in wrestling.
You started doing some training with Khabib. How much? What are some of the biggest takeaways that you've gotten from working with the great Khabib the Eagle?
Man, honestly, any chance I get to work with them, like I did my whole camp for Sean Brady with them guys. So now anytime they come to America, they're at AKA or in Vegas. I was just training with Umar and a couple of guys out there. So like, bro, it's just another level of training with those guys just because their mentality is different. I think that's what separates a lot of them from most fighters. There's no like weakness. There's no weak rounds. Every round is a hard round with their guys, and there's guys there that aren't in the UFC. There's guys there that people don't really know, but they're monsters. And I think what they all have is they don't want to lose a round. Like you'll have those practices where you feel sore or something like that, or I'm gonna go with this guy because I know he goes light. Every single one of their rounds, they're trying to win, and I don't care if it's a grappling round, striking round, jiu-jitsu round. It's like they're trying to win every round, and it maybe changed my mentality because I'm more of a hey, well, let's play spar or like flow roll or something like that. Like anytime I would do jiu-jitsu, Khabib would just yell, "Get up! We're not playing jiu-jitsu. This is not jiu-jitsu. This is MMA. Get up off the ground." So we would do MMA every single day. It wasn't like, all right, today's wrestling day, today's kickboxing day. It's like, no, every day is MMA. Every day is training specifically for that. Yeah. And then, we have like my boys, he's a beast kickboxer, Moroccan kickboxer, Adil Benjalani, and he was sparring one of Habib's boys. And, on the feet, he was lighting him up, but then Habib's boy would take him down and he'll kill him on the ground, tap him out. And, it got to like the third round. And he was like, let me spar with him because I'm tapping him out so easily. So, like, he stayed on the feet with him a little bit. My boy's lighting him up on the feet, and Habib just, like, stopped and he yelled at him. He said, "What are you doing? You take him down, he's like, baby. But when you want to strike with him, he's beating you up. So why are you stupid? Win this fight." That's your mentality that's going to come in practice. That's what's going to happen in the fight. What's the easiest path to victory? And, like, it just clicked for me. But, like, a lot of their guys, it clicks for them as well because he knows, hey, what are you good at? Do what you're good at. All these guys could strike. All these guys could, wrestle, do jiu-jitsu, but they're all so dominant because people are like, oh, they only know how to wrestle. But now people start realizing, wait, Islam knows how to strike too? He knows how to kickbox? He just knocked out Volkanovski. He dropped Charles Oliveira. These guys got it all.
Yeah. Ooh, dude, that actually, there's definitely like that culture of like, training up. They don't around, bro. That's their life. That's it. What do you think? These are your boys. I don't know. You don't have to say, but Islam seems like a second coming of Khabib. Like, I think he could end up being better, and I hold Khabib in very high regard.
Well, it's different.
Yeah, but like you said, he's got the grappling. He's got a little bit. He kicked Volk in the head. Like, how good is Islam, bro?
Yeah, I think Islam is definitely pound for pound number one, I feel, in my book. I think he can definitely go down as one of the best to ever do it, like skill-wise. And your training, your main training partner is Khabib your whole life. So, like, them guys are just so much better than everybody else. Khabib could still come in right now and still be a champion at whatever weight class he chooses, I feel. I just think I've seen him go with just other UFC fighters. I've seen other guys come and visit and train with them guys and then not show up back the next day because it's like everybody has ego, right? You're like, yo, I just got beat up by these guys. Do I suck? Or are they that much better? Like, when I was over there with them 5 weeks, I'm, like, getting killed. And I'm like, bro, I'm about to fight Sean Brady. And you want to have those days of, like, confidence of, like, all right, I beat this training partner, I beat that training partner. But I was getting tapped out by Islam every day. And it was like, man, do I really suck? Or am I just, like, I'm not on that level? But I think those guys are just on another level than all these other guys.
Hey, shout out to your son, Rampage Jr. He be fighting. Is he pro now, or he's on his amateur record still?
He just had one pro fight in the UFL, and it went to his head. He didn't even win the damn fight. Wouldn't even get his weight down. So I don't know. He won't take no advice from me. I guess he wanted to do it his own way. So I put his ass out. Said, all right, you won't take no advice from me, fighting or anything. Get your ass out. Go do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because when I started MMA, I left my hometown. I left my job. I left my car. I left my family. I was broke as hell. I moved to California with nothing. It took me 6 months to even find a job, and I was hungry. But he's driving Mercedes, got everything paid for him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't got to buy his own food or nothing. Just wasn't hungry. He was just too entitled. So I said, you won't even get your weight down. He begged to go pro. His first pro fight, he begged. Wouldn't even get his weight down. He had to end up having to lose 30 pounds 20 days out. So I was like,
well,
said,
so what? He
on my name too.
He went to decision. The decision didn't go his way.
Right. The decision didn't go his way. He almost knocked the dude out like in the first 30 seconds. Then he just didn't have no tank. He didn't have no energy. Huh?
I thought I saw some stuff where he had won. That must have been like maybe his last amateur fight.
Yeah, that was his last amateur fight. The kid, he could be a better fighter than I am. Than I was. He got good submission. He got knockout power. He knows how to wrestle. Good wrestling defense. He just pig-headed. He want to do everything. He got a great coach. He trains with Antonio McKee and AJ McKee, but he just won't listen to me. Like Antonio McKee can't hold his hand. He's supposed to. Fighting is just more than just getting in the ring, getting in the cage. You got to prepare for it. You got to get your weight down. You know what I'm saying? You got to eat right, prepare. He a vegan. He just don't want to listen. So he's on his own. I wish him the best. Much success to him. But I'm anybody that wants my help, needs my help, but won't listen to me. I can't be no part of it.
Ryan Garcia, he wants to talk. I'd love to see him in person. And Bare-Knuckle, I'd run that with him every day.
Look though, with the Sean Strickland thing, the fact that he says that, right? He tries to cast fear into people before they ever even show up. If I got to do it too. I got to go over there. I went to the gym to spar with him, and he was busy doing media stuff when he knew I was coming and we were going to spar, and he was late. So I grappled Gordon Ryan, who that was probably worse than
jiu-jitsu. Like, that guy's crazy.
100%. He's the best. So that sucked. But, it just didn't work out that way. But, people are going to try to say things to, Sean Strickland tries to stay a step ahead of people and say that he'll kill them, he'll do this, he'll do that, to make them think twice about even stepping in the ring with him. But, you know, I mean, that I don't necessarily agree with, but I also get what he's doing. And like I'm saying about you in 10 years, in 10 years from now, you know, if somebody were to say that to you after all these years of training and fighting, you would be prepared to show up and do what you needed to do, regardless of what they say. He's not going to pull a or a knife. You know, he's going to try to do it with his hands. And I think I get what you're saying, where you think you can use your boxing abilities, your technique, to stick and move, to move around, to dodge some punches, and you know, see how you can wear him out in any way. But I mean, he is also, there are weight classes for reasons. You know, he would be tough for me to deal with because he's over 200 plus pounds.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was also 220.
Yeah, he's big. He's a heavyweight when he's not in the ring. You know, he cuts a lot of weight. But none of that matters, because you know what they say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, bro.
Here's what you guys do. Mike, here's what you guys do.
I mean, if he was doing this like with Sneeko and like holding his hands up like that, and he did that to me, I'd hit him. I wouldn't give him those light punches that Sneeko was giving.
For sure.
All right, Bryce and Mike, you guys go to where? The gym in Vegas. What is it? Couture?
Yes.
I always forget.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, you go with them. You two go. Mike, you take a few rounds with Strickland first, and then you ref a sparring match with Bryce.
Yeah, I don't know the backstory here, but did you have beef long before this, or was it you doing your own tournament that really started the beef?
We used to train together. Back in the day, and then, I don't know, Gordon just brings it upon himself. You know, like, he just says crazy things. You know what I mean? Like, he's just asking. Like, in my opinion, he's asking for it. Like, I wish he was trolling us, but that's who he is online, just posting crazy. And then he'll go out and do things that he has no business doing. Like, he wrote a book. He's never read a book. I'm like, how? Like, you can't be doing this and not expecting to cop some heat back, you know? But he really doesn't understand. I make a lot of jokes about jiu-jitsu guys having autism and steroids. And Gordon would be the peak of those two attributes, I'd say. So, like, he was going to take everything very, very serious.
Well, you grappled Gordon before, maybe more than once. And so I guess if anybody has the right to talk about him, you grappled him. So you can. He choked my ass out before.
I lost 3 times, but I'm still going to just with his head a little bit, you know? Can't resist.
Everyone still wants more from Jorge Masvidal. Where do you see yourself fighting again? And if so, where?
Definitely, I feel like I gotta do some boxing matches. I want to do that. I always wanted to do that throughout my career. I didn't get a chance to, and now the opportunity has come. UFC's been very gracious at giving me now permission to do some boxing matches. So that's something I'm definitely looking to do. I did MMA every day of my life for 20 years as a pro, and I'm not complaining because it was the funnest roller coaster I've ever been on. You know what it's like, Mike. The grind is amazing. It humbles you every day, and it just makes you a better person throughout the process. There's something that I miss immediately, and I'm like, man, I need to compete, man. And this opportunity, you know, kind of fell on my lap, and I was like, hell yeah. I always wanted to box. It was like one of my first loves. I never really watched any other sport other than like combat sports. So the first sport I really, like once I was a little bit more conscious, like around 8, 9 years old, that I was heavily involved in was boxing. Then I discovered MMA shortly after that. But man, I love boxing. That was like my first love. I ended up getting married to MMA. But boxing was like the first thing I saw on TV that I could like, wow, understand it, you know, because I watched basketball. I didn't understand what was happening in football, any of that. But I saw boxing and it was like, holy smokes, man, I love it. And since then, I've always been a huge fan of the sport. And my hands ain't too bad, man. So I definitely want to put the boxing gloves on. I couldn't do the bare knuckle stuff because it'd be like one and done, man, with these hands. So I definitely want to put the boxing gloves on and get to it.
When I started to study acting, I was taking an acting class, and my acting coach was like, oh, we're all on strike. And I was like, wow, it's so amazing that even though you have never been in a AAA movie. You never were in Dune 2. You're never in, Maybe the Professor or whatever. You've never been in a $100 million budget movie. But you have people like Matthew McConaughey, Dwayne Johnson, just the list goes on. Mark Ruffalo, those guys who are the cream of the crop are all on strike to support the minor guys, the D-listers, the B-listers, wherever it may be. That will never happen in mixed martial arts. But I promise you guys, one day when the athletes like Jon Jones, Izzy Adesanya, Kamaru Usman, myself, Anatoly, who else? All of the biggest stars in the world say we are not fighting anymore until we come together and create a bargain agreement. No matter what, the UFC, LFA, whoever has these deals in place, they have to come and negotiate. They have to. There's no way around it. Could you imagine? It's like, hey, UFC 300, guess what? Max like, I ain't fighting, dog. Just get you. I ain't fighting either. Oh, Jamahal Hill, I ain't fighting too, dog. Alex Pereira, I ain't fighting. Okay, Cody Barmer, so I'm not fighting either, dog. The reason why they don't do that is because we don't have enough money to sustain our lifestyle for a long time. Because if actors can shut down all of Hollywood for 6 to 7 months, why can't fighters do that?
What do you look back, or was it beating Anderson Silva? What do you look back and hold as like your prime example of the toughest you ever were in a fight, and your mind getting you through?
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 fights that spring to mind. It's probably when I fought Anderson Silva and then when I fought Dan Henderson for the belt in Manchester. Obviously, when I fought Henderson the second time, the whole game plan is avoid that right hand, But as I said before, you don't go in the ring without getting wet. He's made an entire career of that. He hit me in the first round, dropped me in the second, and he shattered all of my orbital bone. And as you know, I'm blind in one eye. This is a fake eyepiece. And throughout the fight, the swelling was getting worse and worse and worse. And by like halfway through round 4, I could hardly see. I would have to move my one eye around. I could have like a tiny little slit of vision, and I still managed to get it done. The first time I fought Luke Rockhold, obviously with one eye, right before I left to Australia, my training partner kneed me in the face as I was about to put a Kimura on him from side control. He's on his back and he kneed me in the face to try and escape, opened up a big cut. And in that first round in Australia, Luke and we clashed heads. It opened up the cut and blood's pouring into my eye. And so I'm fighting. I've only got one eye. Blood's going into my eye. And I always liken it to imagine you got a car and a windshield and you pour a tub of paint on a car windshield and you put your wipers on. It's just going to smear it. So I've got blood going into the only eye that I've got and I'm wiping it and it's just all smeary, and I couldn't see it. It was just red. And then I'd get the vision back and then it'd bleed into it again. And then obviously Luke kicked me in the head and got the job done fair and square and fair play to him. And it was just so hard because I couldn't be honest about that. I couldn't talk about it. I couldn't say, well, I was pretty much goddamn blind in that octagon, because if I said that, that was the end of my career, So I just had to stand there and swallow it and listen to the world all saying that this guy sucks and he's got no future and he's done and all the rest of it. And I felt like saying, bro, do you know I was blind in that fight? I had one eye that didn't work and the other eye was filled with blood. It was the worst possible spot for a cut. So there was that one. And then, of course, when I fought Anderson Silva, when he flying kneed me at the end of round 3, I didn't know what was going on. But you know what? To be honest, in terms of mental toughness, it's not the fights. The fights are the fun part. The fights are the easy part. The mental toughness comes in the staying power, getting out of bed, going to the gym, listening to all the online, listening to all the haters, everybody write you off, everyone say you're not good enough, you're not supposed to be here, you're washed up, and still believing in yourself and getting out of bed and going to the gym and saying, right, I'm going to prove you all wrong.
Me and Kevin fought on a card together in the UFC. I don't know who I fought. It was either Means or it was D-Rod, but I met Kevin Holland. I was with my mother-in-law, and he was asking me how his ass looked in his fight shorts. And Me and Mama Duke, we just walked away, bro. Like I was like, come on, man. Asking me that. That's the memory I have meeting this.
Bro, you didn't even tell him?
Nah. I remember telling everybody, like, damn, Mike's mean.
Yeah, right?
Why? Because I didn't tell you?
Yeah, bro. You could have been like, yeah, look good, bro. You know?
Yeah, that's the man, Mike. That's what you don't get, man. You think everything's. He's just like, hey, how's my ass look? Because I'm fixing to go on global television.
TV, bro. Like,
right?
yeah, I want everybody
to on global television. I want to make this.
I've been wearing the same shorts since then, bro. Appreciate you, bro. Like,
yeah, right.
My mom said my ass look good in them shorts, though.
All right, here's the good thing, Mike. Nobody's listening now. How did it look?
No, if I would have told him, he would have. We probably would have fought on one of those tables in there in that room.
That means it looked nice.
Yeah, I was finna take you to the Diddy party, my boy. Diddy boxing.
Hey, producer, clip that. Mike said Kevin's ass looked so nice he couldn't talk about it.
This is really important for the MMA community, or at least for me. You guys are familiar with Dale, the
Dale
Detroit.
Brown.
Yeah, see, you know where I'm going with this. Do
I thought
you
talking about
bags in
Earnhardt.
platinum? Nah, I don't even. No, the that does the videos like Detroit Urban Self Defense.
Oh, that's his name.
This okay, so Joaquin, what? Be for real with us, bro. If we have to cut this, we can. Joaquin brought him in his corner to an UFC Apex fight, which you won, with Dale in your corner. It's a meme photograph. I mean, what was?
I
was
thought Dale was real humble that week, though.
Well, because he was around people that could really someone up.
No, because he was
that.
grateful to have the opportunity to work with Joaquin. Joaquin's a superstar, a super athletic guy, and capable in the boxing. The hands is crazy. So I think Dale was just happy to be involved, and someone was giving him respect.
And
That's
then
what I'm
also,
curious to hear.
people don't realize, for me, yeah, I did the kick and all that right there. And people can say it was for clout or to try to get it. It was help boost the promotion. I was working with another guy who's heavily known as an influencer, right? Because people didn't realize, like, besides me being in that cage and me being watched by millions, when we walked outside that, bro, when we was out there in Vegas, people were stepping to him, right? So I was just like, oh, okay, I'm glad I brought this guy in because it was going to bring a lot of attention. But just to speak the real on Dale, my man been in the military. My man was a paratrooper. Like, my man been about that life, right? So my thing is, how you going to tell somebody out here when he actually been trained in the military? He trains actual police officers in Detroit. He actually goes out in community and does security for them, right? And he tries his best to not use any type of weapons, which I call Dale crazy.
He's got a sense of humor.
Right?
He's got a sense of humor about it.
Mentality. He feel like that he can de-escalate any situation with his words and with communicating. But if not, he feel like he can disarm them as well. So he said he hasn't been in that situation to current date, but he said he'd be ready if anybody did try to pull up on him like that. So my prayers always out to him, because, man, you know, you gotta be quick with it, boy. You gotta be quick with it. Yeah, they're good people though. I don't care what nobody say.
Like when Alex walked to the gym and I say, hey man, this guy's for sure, he's gonna be a champion.
What is it about Alex Pereira that you and him clicked so much?
I don't know, man. I just we, you know, think it the same way. I don't know. I can't explain. It's just like we like, you know, same things. Like if I like the way he thinks. He's a great guy. He's a great heart, helping a lot of people. Alex, from the beginning when I come over here, he loves the way I was, you know, helping people in Brazil, taking people grocery store. He started like, oh, Glove, I want to do this, you know, I want to do that sometimes. And he started doing after his first couple fights in UFC. Of course, he's growing now. Now he can do more bigger things. A lot of trucks in different cities. Now he's talking to me about like, hey, Glove, we got to plan something to Brazil. We got to fix some people's house, man. because like you say, we go in people's house, they don't have a stove, they don't have a roof over the top of the kitchen, the bathroom is the toilet's not even work. So let's do something so we can help some people with that. And
Mad respect.
That's incredible.
Great guy, and great sense of humor, not sensitive, not a sensitive like most of the people. Like you say something and people get mad at you for like, bro, I'm trying to. You tell the guy keep your goddamn hands up, man. And the guy is mad at you because you think you yell at him. No, I tell you to keep your hands up. I was telling you a good thing. You don't have to be mad at me.
Pineda like never has his hand. No, I guess he does have his hands up, but I feel like his hands are always pretty low. But he's so long, he just hits people.
But I say all the time, and Khalil, when he start walking Khalil down, and he just keep his hand down, I was like, keep your goddamn hands up. Because he's fighting Khalil Roundtree, the one of the hardest hitters in the game. And you just go down with, of course I know, that's how he fights. You have the reflex moving hand. But it's just being a corner, it sucks, man.
I know you and your dad had some tumultuous times and things like that, but do you look at it like it was a gift a little bit, like the way you were pushed, or no?
It was a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
Because he pushed me to make me do something different. But it's like once you get to a certain point, you got to stop. You understand me? So you can't keep pushing me when I get to an age to where now I got to go out and start making my own decisions, paying my own bills. You push me to get me to a point where I understand what you're trying to teach me. But once I get to that age, you got to kind of stand on the side of me and walk with me. You can't just push me no more because I'm not going to be pushed anymore after that. You understand what I'm saying?
For sure. This is one of the things I love about Roy. And I spent probably a good solid 6 weeks with you training. But the thing that I noticed about the way you taught your guys, your pros, was you were tough as hell, right? You call them out in a second.
Of course, got to.
But at the same time, you also were a little bit nurturing, to be honest. You were a little bit nurturing, and you really took it to the next level of you trying to teach somebody to be a man and beyond boxing.
Yes. And if you don't teach them how to be a man or things beyond boxing, then what are you doing? You're wasting their time. I mean, how many kids nowadays truly have a father to look up to? Most of us come from places of broken families, or we just don't really talk to our dads, or our dads don't have time. Some have dads that are in jail. Some have dads that don't. But the majority of kids nowadays, especially black kids, don't have a father figure. So if you're going to be given that opportunity by God that you can lead people, then to me, you should always try to lead them in a positive direction, not only for the sport that you're doing, but for life.
Because boxing only lasts so long.
Only lasts so long, unless you're Roy Jones.
Have you seen somebody that's had more success converting from UFC with a very good career, right, than Mike has, and just rising to the level of stardom that he has in BKFC? Have you seen many people? I mean, you could say maybe Francis with the Tyson Fury thing.
Yeah.
But it's very odd, and it's not often.
No.
What are your thoughts there?
Let's count the wins here.
Yeah. What is it? 4
All
now?
5.
5. 4 going to Saturday. It's remarkable because a lot of people need that machine. Like there have been some people in the history of mixed martial arts that have been successful outside of the UFC machine, but it's very rare. Like one of the few that comes to mind is Mayhem Miller. He had the show on MTV, and I know he was in the UFC for a couple of
but he's
before
in prison
and after.
now.
No, but there was a time, don't forget, in 2009, 2010, Mayhem was a legit mainstream star. He had a show called Bully Beatdown. Unfortunately, things took a turn for him. But I mean, he was very well liked, and people wanted to, do business with him. And I enjoyed talking to him all the time. And it's unfortunate that he's having these issues now. But your story is very unique because in the end, it seemed like the machine was kind of holding you back. And now you've been able to show people that you can make a lot of money and have great success outside of the UFC, get paid, have freedom to do whatever you want. You want to pop up as and I got to give BK a lot of credit. I got to give David Feldman a lot of credit. A lot of promoters would say, no, I don't want you to be the backup fighter for Misfits, but he understands that it's good for you and probably good for him. Let's be honest. It's good for his brand to be talked about in that light. People are mentioning them with you at the same time. One name that comes to mind that I would say had greater success outside of the UFC was Nick Diaz. Remember, Nick Diaz was in the UFC for a while. He leaves. He goes to Pride. He goes to Strikeforce, a little bit of Elite XC action in there. Robbie Lawler had a lot of success outside of the UFC too before coming back to the UFC, and then probably leveled up. But like this is like, we're talking 2-3 examples, and certainly not in this day and age where there's way more UFC fighters and way less options for fighters outside of the UFC. So I always say there's this weird thing. The UFC, it just always goes their way. And it seems like every time they're in this sort of like bidding war with someone and they choose not to keep them, they leave the nest and they stumble. It's like they can never do wrong. They just always have incredible success. Like we could talk about countless guys who left, who got a big contract, and then it didn't come to fruition. They didn't, live up to whatever hype there was surrounding them. And Mike's the lone example these days.